Oof, deja vu. Before we get back into the Zoophobia review, I just really wanted to apologize real quick for having to split this up into like two different parts. I wanted to do like one really long part, but I can't upload hour-long videos. Like I have trouble uploading half-hour long videos with the Genshin Impact video. So I can't just upload like an hour long video. I already have trouble trying to upload half hour long. Like I'm starting to repeat myself a little bit. Sorry once again for that. And other thing I have to apologize for is how the last video was recorded. I did not want to restart my like entire process because that would like set me back like 2 weeks, and I already got like other projects I want to work on, like a Your Turn to Die analysis video. Like that's in the air. I might have to drop it and just wait until like the whole game comes out. Maybe then I do an analysis, and then like there's like that Doctor Who Zoophobia crossover fan fiction I'm still working on that I want to get out eventually. So I want to also apologize for that. Well, with that out of the way, let's get back into the Zoophobia review. Also, by the way, this chapter is called The Devil's Son. I wonder who this chapter's about. Well, anyways, we open up this chapter in Hell, where we're introduced to more characters. Specifically, let's just focus on this blue guy here, Strix. I just want to make a quick note that this guy has like a similar shirt thing that Damien has, but he's not actually his father, like Damien's father. Lucifer is. But I just wanted to make a quick note of that. Like perhaps Major Strix is like, important figure in Damien's life. Just wanted to make a quick note of that. I would talk about, them counting souls and all that, but honestly, it doesn't really come up again in this chapter, so let's just pretend it didn't happen. What is important is that Lucifer is actually looking for Damien. Lucifer basically sends Strix out to find Damien, and which Strix tries to look for Tenedora. Who is Tenedora? We'll see her later. We then cut to Damien talking to his friends at the film club about a cruel prank he played on his cousin. And let's just get this over with. This witch girl on the left is Sahara. This boy on the right is Addison. The twin on the left is named Leonardo, and the twin on the right is named Vincent. Am I forgetting anyone? Anyone important? No? Good. Back to the story. Damien was supposed to bring snacks, but Damien basically calls up his nanny to bring him up for him, and then like the twins just make fun of him for it. You know, until they actually meet her. Yeah, this nanny, by the way, is Tenedora, and you know what? I just wanna go on a quick rant real quick. This is also another issue that Zoophobia kinda has. There's nothing wrong with a bunch of characters until you just try to like balance like all of them, give them all the development they need and all that. It's like a lot, all right? Without like a main character, like a main group of characters to focus on, it gets messy real quick. It's like Ruby, where it's like there's like a bunch of characters that are just shoved in your face. Like in Volume 1, we're basically following two teams of four, Team Ruby and Team Juniper. Of course, two of the second team, Juniper, kind of are more in the background, but still, that's like, still 8 characters. And then on the end of that volume, we're introduced to like 2 more. And we're not even counting the villains either in Ruby. Which leaves us with like about, what, like 9 characters with major screen time, I guess, in Ruby. In Zoophobia, I don't even know how many characters with major screen time there are. There's a lot. Anyways, after she leaves, the twins immediately start thirsting over her, which Damien finds gross because, well, she's his nanny. She basically raised him. And Addison teases him a little bit. We then cut to Tenedora and Strix arguing, and we basically learn from this that Damien's not even supposed to be on the surface, and that these two are actually Damien's caretakers. They both do eventually agree that Damien has to come back down because his father's looking for him. But before they leave, Tenadora needs new batteries. Why does she need new batteries? Well, it's not exactly stated in the story, but she's a lust robot. Well, cyborg, but I can only assume it works something like a sex robot. Which just makes me ask the question, why did Lucifer and his wife have, like, a sex robot essentially raise their child? What? Fuck, I'm getting off topic again. Anyways, before they leave, we're introduced to a few more characters, like this silver dude named Boswick, these hell sprites, and this maid lady. The first two I talked about are gonna be, I guess, a little bit important later. And Strix tries to keep it secret that Damien's on the surface. Until Tenadora screws it all up. The maid does not approve. This back and forth sass basically culminates in an argument. And what I assume is the adults basically start arguing. This Boswick guy basically decides to take him and the Hellsprite to the surface. Wait, hold on. So people can just teleport from hell to the surface, like a certain. I mean, I'm assuming a certain few people, like the royal hell family, which is like Lucifer and stuff. But then there's like this Boswick guy. Like where does he exactly land? Why can Tenadora and Strix kind of do it? What? But Safe Haven is supposed to be calm. We gotta save this for later. We gotta save that rant for later. We will get there. Anyways, after the argument, Tenadora and Strix go up to the surface. We finally get back to the film club where we're basically going out for ice cream, and they think about inviting Mackenzie, but they decide no. She really does not deserve half the stuff that happened to her. And as they leave, they just miss Boswick and the Hellsprites. And when they arrive, Boswick basically just ditches the Hellsprites to flirt with just some random chicks, and yikes, dude, come on. Like, I'm assuming Damien and Boswick are like friends, and maybe Damien taught Boswick how to go to the surface and stuff. But it's like, it just tells me that Boswick is probably just a bad friend. This is what it tells me. And that might actually be the point. What do you know? And then we cut to Cameron, where we basically begin the B plot. So basically the Strix Tenadora duo show up, and where they basically ask her where Damien is, but he left like 40 minutes ago. Does time work differently in Hell and Safe Haven? Because if so, it's like, how are you guys 40 minutes late? He left. They just left. So what? And then like Boswick just missed him. How have they been out for like 40 minutes? How long does teleporting to the surface take? Anyways, they eventually leave to go find him. And then Cameron gets chased by the Hellsprites. Chased into the B-plot, that is. Simon takes the realization that not only do demons go to Safe Haven, but specifically, like, the son of the devil actually goes to Safe Haven. And tries to, like, make a point where it's like, oh, these guys are biased against us, even though they're not biased against another group of people. But then Zachariah's like, yeah, you do realize that you're going through, like, past the agreed upon boundaries that we made. And then they argue a bit some more until Cameron finally snaps. And then practically begs for exposition on where the fuck we are and how the fuck the world works. And then we finally get the name of this place. I mean, I called it Safe Haven before, but we only, actually got the name of this place, like, now. And, you know what, just pause it at different intervals, because I could read all this out, but honestly, it just seems very unappealing, and this video is going to be long enough as is, so I'ma just give a summary of what it said. Ahem. Basically, Safe Haven is designed to be a peaceful interspecies society that keeps evils like evil spirits, rogue vampires, true demons, and blood hunters, whatever the fuck that last thing is, don't know, out. But in order to do so, it keeps creatures like, trapped inside. And, yeah. I have many questions about this, and this is what I was saving up to for the rants. Why are transfers like Cameron allowed? How do these transfers even work? Can anyone just be transferred inside? And if so, what's stopping them from being transferred out? We haven't seen Snake in a while, and I'm pretty sure Snake was with the weird creepy lady before, so what exactly, is she just gone? Did she leave? How come she's able to leave and not Cameron? How come demons like Tenadora and apparently Boswick and maybe even Damien get to Safe Haven, without the magic barrier stopping them? Maybe how the rogue vampires got through the barrier in the first place was because you allow demons to just come in and out, and maybe that weakened the magical spell. And if that's not it, then how? Why? What? And the most important question of all, if demons can just waltz in and out whenever they want, and transfers can clearly happen, why not just let Cameron go home? Do you want to keep Safe Haven secret from, the outside world? Because bang up job you're doing, if even this lackey knows what the fuck Safe Haven is. And if your worry is that humans would know about Safe Haven, people would, if I just showed up on the street and just be like, yo, there's this place called Safe Haven, and it has, all these different species of, talking animals, demons, and other creatures, people would think I'm fucking crazy. And with the way Cameron acts sometimes, they're definitely gonna think she's crazy. So where's the issue? Why can't she just go home? She didn't even want to really be there. So why are you forcing her to stay? Do you really need a guidance counselor that bad? Are guidance counselors just on short supply in Safe Haven? What the fuck? I'm losing my mind over this. Honestly, okay, good, my sanity's back. Honestly, this chapter is simultaneously one of the good ones, a good one when we focus on Damien and his aspects of his life and stuff. But then there's this B plot that just drags the whole thing down and makes it the worst chapter for me, especially since it raises so many questions and it just somehow manages to add more plot holes. Anyways, they eventually get the truth from Simon that neither him nor his mistress actually know how they even ended up in Safe Haven. Maybe it's connected to that creepy lady from before. Who knows? Right now I feel like Cameron in this panel trying to process what the fuck is going on. Anyways, once again, Simon brings up why the Devil's Son is allowed to attend the school when no one else is not really allowed in, especially other demons. And apparently Damien's caretakers made an appeal to the school, which basically just allowed him to, be able to be on the surface as well as, go to school on the surface. Simon complains that it's basically not fair. Fabian sighs. You know what? Right now, I'm like Cameron in this panel. I need a fucking nap to process what the fuck just happened, and I'm still on all that freaking exposition bullshit, and I still have those many questions. Sorry about that. Anyways, we go back to the film club where Damien's basically just being excited about being in the marketplace, and honestly, yeah, he's just a teenager. It just makes you realize he's just a teenager, and I honestly kind of like it. He's just an excitable teenage troublemaker who also just so happens to be a huge dork. Anyways, as Damien is checking out the comic book, some dude just calls out to them, sinners. And it turns out to be this preacher guy. I remember the last time I visited the Golden State Bridge and I met a preacher who more or less acted like this guy. Like, I'm serious. He gave me like this book. Hold on, let me find it real quick. Can't find that book anywhere. I mean, it's either my desk is messy as fuck or I probably already gotten rid of it because it was probably spewing a bunch of bullshit. By the way, not against religion or anything, just against those weirdly obsessed people who just, like, scream in the streets, scream at you, sinners! Would you like to know the word of God? Like, okay, dude, relax. I'm Catholic, man, but you don't see me acting like that. I mean, bring it up in, like, a casual conversation. Like, you can't just, maybe you could transition into it, but you don't open up with that shit. You don't open up to like sinners. That's not, no, you look crazy. Anyways, back to the story. Basically, this preacher guy starts harassing Damien and his friend group, but let's just say he pushes Damien to his limits. And once he realizes that Damien is a demon, well, let's just say he starts losing his shit. Sahara and Addison stand up for him, but basically the insults just start getting too much for him and he starts transforming. Which, quick note, from what I'm able to tell, sometimes when like demons get like super mad or like they're trying to defend themselves or something, they kind of become more beast-like, as you see in this Angel Dust concept art. Once again, originally, I don't think it's gonna happen in Hell of a Boss or Has Been Hotel. Just letting you know, this is what it was like originally. I just wanted to explain that because the story never really had a chance to explain it itself. Anyways, Damien just tells the preacher to shut up, as Boswick just watches from the distance. Why did I make note of Boswick? Well, you'll see in a second. So then Damien gets shot by these guys who are apparently from something called the SH Authority, which I have no idea what that means or who the fuck that is. They're just being introduced now and kind of come out of nowhere. And I assume a fight begins? I say this because we cut back to Strix and Tenedora. Yeah, you guys probably forgot about them for a second, huh? Anyways, basically Tenedora senses that Damien's in danger and runs off to go help him. Basically, Damien is caught by what I can only assume is something that can consume demon magic or at least nullify it. And they basically try to alert someone called, I don't know how to pronounce that name, and I'm not even gonna try. And I just want to make note of this. Looks like they'll have a new test subject, meaning that they test demons and stuff, which, oh boy. Also, look at this motherfucker, this manipulative little shit. Honestly, I know this has nothing to do with the story, but I seriously kind of hate Boswick. Like, I know he's kind of forced to be Damien's friend, but dude, come on, you shouldn't fucking wish harm upon him. Like, at least run away, dude. Like, dude, if they find you, you're also gonna get screwed. Luckily, Tenedora wait, what the fuck? Remember when I mentioned that Tenedora's a lust bot? What the fuck's she using these saws for? Don't worry, Tenedora saves Damien, and basically Damien's safe. And then Lucifer shows up. And basically tells them to go home now. Anyways, Strix starts stressing out, and Tenedora tries to comfort Damien. Yeah, they might be in a little bit of trouble. Not a good sign. When we do eventually meet Lucifer, he basically reprimands his son on going to the surface, where he could have been killed. Which honestly, you know what? Fair enough. I mean, they were going to turn a literal child into a test subject. Well, teenager, but still a child. He then reprimands Damien's caretakers. Damien tries to take the blame by saying he begged his caretakers for months to let him go to the surface because he just wanted a little freedom. And before Lucifer can reprimand him more, his wife stops him. His wife, whose name is Narissa by the way, basically asks why does Damien hate it in hell. And once again we get more insight on Damien. Damien explains that even though he does like it in hell, he doesn't really get to leave the palace that much, and he just wants to, like, explore the surface and, just explore his own life. And honestly, there are some aspects of Damien I understand. Like, basically, I'm going to college soon, and it's gonna be like the next state over from, where I am now. And honestly, it's like, I totally get it. I want a chance to explore my own life, explore, who I am and stuff. I totally get that. Like, honestly, this chapter basically has, like, a lot of high points like this, and then that massive low point that basically just made me rant. Wait a minute. A member of royalty who wants to explore their own life despite their parents' disagreement to that. Damien's a fucking Disney princess. Like, this is no joke, he's practically a Disney princess. Anyways, thanks to Narissa, she manages to convince Lucifer to allow Damien to keep going to the surface. And then Lucifer and Damien share a hug. Never thought I'd say this, but Lucifer and his child, hugging each other kinda wholesome. Never thought that'd be a sentence that'd ever come out of my mouth, but here we are. Hey, the whole family hugging. Boswick and the Hellsprites do eventually return, but honestly, yeah, I mean, he's just mad. I mean, he's forced to be Damien's friend and all, but maybe there's something more originally to his backstory. Fortunately, we'll never know, because the indefinite hiatus. We do eventually get back to Cameron, where Fabian is trying to comfort her, and they decide to go on a walk. And we also get more hints at Cameron's zoophobia. Fabian tries to comfort her and tries to tell her that Safe Haven, despite, the vampire attack that just happened, that it's probably one of the most peaceful places on the planet. Cameron looks at the fish apiece before looking back towards Fabian. She tries to fight her zoophobia and actually succeeds. She reassures Fabian that she really wants to see more of this place and could probably get used to living here. And with that, that's chapter 4. Honestly, there were some high points, like, with Damien's character and the direction that's going, but then there was that low point with, my rant that I had to rant on. Well, anyways, this has been going on for like 20 minutes, and I guess I'm just gonna have to make this a 3-parter now. Yeah, once again, I'm gonna just apologize. I did not expect to be able to say this much about zoophobia. But, yeah, here we are. See you next time for part 3, which should be coming out very soon.